Hi, I'm Antonio Sala. In this video we are going to discuss, in an abstract sense, the concept of measuring a signal and sampling it to convert it to digital with some sampling conversion time. And we are going to discuss it from the perspective of stochastic processes, power spectral density, measurement noise, and the like. We are not discussing any detailed electronics design. This is just from a theoretical signal processing and control perspective. Our problem setup will start with having some signal, which I will model as an ideal voltage source from some reference point, the 0 voltage, and I wish to do something with it to process it and to get a filtered measurement, let's say. And maybe I would like to convert to digital to some bits, so I will take samples from the real world from time to time, and I will also need to add some reset logic so that, when I disconnect from the physical world, I can hold things for the conversions for the digital world, and then when I am up to getting a new measurement, I reset the stored energy here, I connect this thing with the physical world. So this is the generic description of measurement, sampling, and whatever. Okay, the thing is that, come on, why don't you just put just a wire here, and connect your real temperature sensor, photocell, whatever, with the computer somehow? We will assume that there is some noise that requires being filtered. So we will assume that apart from the signal, either because of these circuits themselves or because of whatever interference or thermal noise or whatever, then there will be some signal which we will call measurement noise. Then our goal will be, in a formal sense, putting some filter here so the measurement and the signal are as close as possible. From an abstract point of view, this signal, let's say, we can assume that it has a given power spectral density, and this measurement noise has also a given power spectral density of the noise. This one is for the signal. Then, this is the abstract situation in which, indeed, if we have these descriptions, we can place here the optimal filter in statistical sense, which is the so-called Wiener filter or Kalman filter in non-stationary state space form, whatever. So these are key theoretical building blocks and milestones in the 20th century, the 40s, the 50s, that solved from a formal view this filtering problem and separating signal to noise so that this measurement had no bias, so in mean estimation was correct, and minimum variance of this thing. Then that's a theoretical milestone, and these filters are, continuous time. Good. And analog electronics was the only thing they had available in the 1940s. But Kalman filter can be also done in discrete time with digital sample data signals, because, what's the problem with this kind of setup? This means that this optimal filter depends on the power spectral densities of signal and noise contamination. So this will be a different circuit for every different application. You need to change the number of operational amplifiers, capacitors, resistors, whatever filtering stuff here in order to be optimal for this particular signal to noise ratio at each frequency. Then, okay, that was the only tool in 1945, but 40 years later, computers were mainstream in industry, so digital signal processing was born, and we added these analog to digital converters. And the thing is that, okay, we wish to sort of changing this by something that will be the same electronics in my data acquisition hardware, and then after this conversion to digital, then putting here some digital filter in order to approach this theoretically optimal continuous time, infinitely fast sampling Wiener and Kalman results. Well, this is the motivation. And so how can we base our electronics development for this block? Well, we may make some assumption that, okay, this electronics is fast, so that whatever capacitors or things in here that steal a bit of energy from the real world, microwatts, let's say, can be charged in milliseconds, microseconds, or even less. And then my things I am going to measure, estimate, process, at least at that time scale, will be constant. Then that tells me that, okay, if that is true, if I have a constant signal, and I assume that the instrument I am going to put in my data acquisition card has fast dynamics, and that it is corrupted with white noise, a very, very high bandwidth signal, but this one is constant, at least constant, if I am measuring the temperature of an air conditioning setup, that temperature changes take minutes. So the microseconds that my digital stuff takes to process the temperature measurement, temperature is constant in that interval. So under this assumption, we know what to put here. The optimal way of estimating a constant is just taking the average of the samples. So if I had samples at random times, I would need to average them 1, 2, 3, 10, 100, 10,000, the more, the better. And if I am in continuous time, then if this constant signal is U and this corrupted signal is Y, then my best estimate of U will be the integral in a given time period of my measurements divided by the length of time. This will be the continuous time version of flipping a coin 100 times and counting heads and tails to get the mean probability, let's say. Well, we get this integrator behavior, that is the optimal estimation of the mean, and then the data acquisition card designers will assume that during the conversion time, I will call it here a sampling time, TS, but maybe my conversion time is 1 millisecond, and then I sample temperatures once every minute in my higher level temperature control setup. But in here we are, in the low level, close to the electronics design of each of the hardware components in a digital signal processor. But okay, we are not in that truly electronic design level. We are in an abstract signal processing view. So this sampling period is the time I need to average to assume I have a reasonably correct estimate of a constant signal. And of course, the larger the better. But if my time is very large, then the assumption that my signal is constant ceases to hold. So there is a limit to that. And also, my electronics is fast, and the optimal design of my resistors, capacitors, or whatever inside my electronics maybe require a given conversion time. And let's say if my conversion time is 1 microsecond, then my digital signal processor will be able to sample signals, let's say at 1 megahertz. So there are several issues deciding this conversion time, but whatever the electronic designer decides it is, this is the best estimate of a constant signal. And so once I get that, I will be able to put some kind of comparator to see if this thing is above or below a given level, to put some 0 or 1 at some bits to be sent to the digital world. Okay, so this is the basic idea, some of integrator and comparator or whatever. And in fact, for instance, when we get a little bit deeper into the electronics things, then we have indeed that kind of abstractions of the analog to digital conversion. For instance, this comes from Wikipedia, Kaplan Thag. And indeed, this is a figure from the sigma delta modulation page, whatever, in which we have, 1-bit comparison, quantizer, integrators, and then, when everything finishes this kind of process, then we have digital filters afterwards to round up my work, because, that digital filter can indeed take into account that on a longer time scale, my signal I am discussing here is not constant. But in a short time scale, if we assume constant, this is the optimal way to do. So the transfer function of this block, for instance, will be 1 minus delay divided by S, which is the integrator. And then the electronic circuits I will need to put in here will be, something that approaches this transfer function, let's say. Again, I am not an electronic designer, so I know nothing about what's actually inside here, but this is from a signal processing point of view what I must do to estimate a constant signal subject to high frequency white noise. Then the issue with here is that the larger TS is, the cleaner is the estimate of the constant U, but there is a trade-off between too large TS, so U is not constant, and that my electronics is not so slow, and then we need to design that. But in order to better sort that trade-off, then we can indeed add here a digital filter, so we get U hat, and then, for instance, if at a given time scale we still think that my signal is constant, then this digital filter can carry out discrete averages of these continuous time averages. I can average 1 millisecond, and the equivalent of averaging in continuous time 100 milliseconds will be taking 100 of those 1 millisecond samples and averaging them. So that would be the most basic digital filter, carrying out a moving average, let's say, to estimate basically constant signals. But of course, if we know the power spectral densities of these signals that from the continuous time world enter my electronics and whatever, then I should, of course, use the optimal discrete time Kalman filter, let's say. So in the grand scheme of things, I will have the continuous time world with some signal power spectral density and noise power spectral density that will come to a sort of probe with some electronics in it. That, of course, it will not be like that in practice, but in an idealized abstraction will carry out something close to a finite time average, and then some sampling, some reset, some analog to digital conversion, and then I will have a discrete time Kalman filter, and hopefully all of this should approach the continuous time optimal filter, but with the advantage that the probe electronics will always be the same, and the only thing we will change to adapt to these power spectral densities from the physical world will be the software in the discrete time Kalman filter. So changing a handful of lines of code is much easier than rewiring an electronic board. So this ends up our discussion on what optimal sampling, AD conversion, and filtering means from an stochastic process signal processing perspective. The optimal thing would be the continuous time filtering. That was the only possible thing 1 century ago, but now we have computers, and then we wish to approach that with software-based solutions so that I can write my optimal digital filters for each of my applications by just editing code instead of changing the electronics. We finish with this, and further videos will discuss more examples of this Kalman filtering and measurement process with particular MATLAB code. But in this video, we just described the process of measurement, analog to digital conversion, and optimal filtering in an abstract sense. So we finish here. Thanks for watching.